So good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you. As I was introduced, my name is Delara Motlagh. I feel privileged to be here and excited to be representing Terumo on the stage, and I hope you're all enjoying the conference. You know, it's the first time we've all been able to gather together in person. And you can feel the energy in the hallways and in all of the meetings and conversations. I think we've all been hungry for this, so thank you for spending a few minutes with us. And let's harness some of that energy as we look at addressing together the rising challenges that face healthcare and the cell and gene therapy industry. Okay. So 2021 was actually quite a special year for us at Terumo. We just recently celebrated our 100-year anniversary, and this journey started with Dr. Kitasato and his team on a quest to deliver a reliable thermometer. And let's pause on that for a moment. You know, a thermometer is something we all take for granted, although not so much the past 2 years as we've all endured temperature checks during the pandemic. But just think how this innovation has had such a profound impact on healthcare. And this impact as an organization has continued as we look to have risen the standards in helping to address challenges. For example, decreasing infection rates through disposables, through syringes, blood bags, and also some of the medical devices that have come, and these technologies, as well as therapies, have made a profound impact. But an important element of that is also the training. We have a state-of-the-art training facility that allows for physicians, technicians to come in and learn how to use these life-saving technologies. In 2010, additional therapies and interventions were provided. So notably in our vascular interventions, as well as in our cell therapy business, where we've continued and started that journey and adding automated solutions to support this industry. And this continues. You know, we continue to look to ways that we can help move the industry forward and to meet the challenges in healthcare. And we do this by looking at accessible innovations. And I use the word accessible purposefully. A wise person once said innovations are not very useful if they're not able to reach people and they're not accessible. And so you'll note that all of the innovations that we look to bring to market, we're really looking at how can we make them accessible globally in order to have an impact. Excuse me. You know, our innovations are integral to the patient care continuum in cell and gene therapy. If we pause and look at the number of clinical trials that are happening today, 60 to 70% of those trials start with an apheresis product. And given our Spectra Optia platform, over 90% of those collections are happening on one of our platforms. And that's a profound impact that we're able to have. Our welders are the gold standard in sterile connections that are made throughout manufacturing, process development, and even in research. And we continue to invest higher than industry standards in our innovations, not just in the products, but also in the services and in our capabilities, such that we can provide these innovations globally. We work really closely with our customers to integrate these innovations into their process across the full care continuum. And what makes us unique is that we have this ability to bridge from the cell collection that's happening in the hospital or clinic or centers into the manufacturing environment and to be able to support the GMP. And with that bridging comes experience that we as a team can bring to support our customers on that journey and to be able to make sure that their voices are being heard and that their needs are being met, and those communications are happening more fluidly, given such of the key stakeholders that are impacting the process across the way. You know, we really see it as a privilege to be part of the cell and gene therapy field and community, especially given the ability that these products have to revolutionize the way that we practice medicine and the impact that we can have in healthcare and in patients' lives. And so in doing so, we listen very carefully to our customers and seek to understand where the market is going, so that as we continue our commitment in this space, we're able to deliver meaningful solutions. So for innovation, we're looking to provide innovations that can solve needs in this evolving market and address the challenges that our customers have as they transcend from early research, translational, through commercialization. We're with them every step of the way in that journey. We're also investing in innovations, but also in our infrastructure, in our services, and really looking to understand what other support is needed to foster that movement through the courses of development, stages, but also in the geographic areas of the world that we're looking to reach with these therapies. And in collaboration, it's one of the hallmarks of this conference is finding ways to collaborate together. And we recognize that in a market that's moving so quickly with so many complex needs, no one person's going to be able to do it alone. So the need to collaborate allows us to learn, to partner to develop solutions, and also to be able to help advance the industry, particularly when you look at some of the IP and challenges where we're not all sharing, so being able to foster those environments to do so. So as I mentioned, we listen carefully to what the market needs. And so as you look at some of the recent innovations that we've brought, there was a lot of careful planning and thought that went into bringing these to our customers, starting with the Finia fill and finish system that we launched in 2019. This is an automated solution for that fill and finish step. And the insight behind the innovation is that during the manufacturing process for these autologous therapies in particular, you go through so much from the patient journey to the collection of that cell, that precious cell, and the journey that it takes through the manufacturing process, the modification, the expansion. And then you reach this step where it was very manual. There was a lot of risk and concern and really fear of what happens to this final product if we're not able to handle it with the right care. And that was really the drive behind Finia, to be able to automate this key part of the manufacturing process and to be able to de-risk the process through control and consistency and taking excellent care of those cells to make sure that we're preserving their viability and ultimately their potency so they can do what they were designed to do. In addition to the device, we also launched our cell processing application. And this was very important in not only managing the fleet of multiple devices, but also in data management and being able to facilitate and enable Part 11 compliance. As we look at many of our customers that are making that transition into manufacturing, clinical production and GMP production are happening earlier and earlier. And not only does this allow them to control the process and de-risk, but it also allows them to have conversations with regulators showing the control and the documentation that's needed to support GMP. The second innovation that I've listed here is our Veda Solutions, and this really encompasses the data and services that we're providing across our enterprise, but for the point of this conversation in the cell and gene therapy space, to better support our customers. And I'll give you an example of this. We have a service for optimizing our cell collection processes. And given the experience that we have, the insights and the knowledge we have on collection, we're able to give a bigger voice to the pharma companies and the developers that incoming apheresis product is the raw material in the beginning of their manufacturing process. And for many years, developers have had to deal with what they get. Of course, these products are as unique as each of us in the room. But to be able to sit with and understand, what do they need in the bag? What is the product that they need, ideally, to optimize their manufacturing process? And then in turn, working with those very centers that are collecting those products and helping them to optimize their protocols and training to ensure that you are increasing the probability and really controlling that process to get a better product coming out. And this benefits everybody, and most importantly, the patient. So this is a very valuable service that we're providing as part of Veda Solutions, and of course, continuing to add to the portfolio of services as we move forward. And scalability is something we understand is needed, small scale as well as large. Small scale for process development as well as autologous therapies. And as we start to see more and more allogeneic therapies coming to market, we're looking at ways to provide more scalability with our flagship product, which is the quantum system. In this rapidly evolving and expanding market, having a global footprint is really critical, and this is one of the ways that we are able to support our customers as they expand into geographies as well as maintaining what they have. If you think of the importance of supply continuity, response times for service and support, as well as having local teams that can help along the way, these are some of the benefits that we can provide our customers. In fact, I'm very proud to say that our ongoing support and supply continuity that we were able to provide during the pandemic was exceptional. We were able to have 97% on-time delivery during a global pandemic, and our customers were extremely appreciative of what this was able to do for them as they were managing these critical processes with so much shortage. Collaborations, as I mentioned, is really critical. It's important in how we all learn and the impact that we can have together. And one of the ways that we look to do this is creating forums and relationships and partnerships where we can bring people together and foster that learning. And most recently, we announced a collaboration and partnership with Biocentric, a really unique CDMO that is working with early-stage researchers and academics that are looking to take their innovations and take them into the clinic. And with our support, we can help them be able to foster their process in order to do that. We also have supported research grants and reference centers, and I'll highlight a reference center that we have with Unicar in China as one example where these reference centers will use our technologies, develop process, but importantly, they share what they've learned so that the industry can benefit. And Dr. Yu from Unicar actually just presented recently at ISCT showing the CAR T cells that he was able to grow in the quantum platform and how he was able to dramatically reduce the manufacture time to 7 days. And those of us that are familiar with this space know that many of these therapies take on average of 2 weeks to be manufactured. So imagine the impact that this has on patients that are desperately waiting for that therapy on the other end. And standardization and workforce development. We talk about standardization in this industry and how important it is for us to be able to have that flexibility, all those learnings, and some of the table stakes standards that we can all adopt and benefit from. But it's also important to ensure that we are training and having the workforce ready to be able to step in. And this is a key gap, and the partnerships we have with CMAT and the Catapult are allowing us to be able to support the industry in providing this training and partnering accordingly. So we are all very committed to this industry, and we invite you to partner with us. Imagine what we can do together to address these challenges in healthcare and in the cell and gene therapy space for the next 100 years. So please, we have a few of our team members outlined on this slide, and many that are here. We're here to partner with you and to work with you, so please reach out, connect with us. We look forward to working with you. Thank you.